And our next questioner is Senator Jim Tedisco. Ranker for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner, and all for being here today, for your service, for helping to move our educational system forward. I want to ask you a question because we have limited time that a number of parents have asked me to ask of you. It may be a little bit theoretical, but I think every parent's worst concern has an interest in it. If you had a child in school or even a grandchild in school that was being bullied day in and day out, would you want to be notified of that?
I heard part of your question. Say it again.
If you had a child in school that was being bullied day in and day out, would you as a parent want to be notified of that? I mean, we're asking a tremendous amount of our parents. Come to PTA meetings, meet with your teachers, help us with IEPs, help us with the curriculum. But we don't have a law that says when they're reported to the state education department that a bully, which is mandated, that a bullying has taken place for a child, and it's not only being notified if your child is being bullied, or notified if your child is the one who is doing the bullying. Would you not want to be notified? And wouldn't it be important for that to happen?
Absolutely. And I think part of what we're doing, we have been spending also a great deal of time, I'm sure you're aware, both on the discipline issue. We've done a lot of work over the last 18 months with the Department of Health. CFSS has really been working closely with us in terms of a task force and some of the recommendations. And we've been, as a matter of fact, we did last month a presentation about some of their recommendations and how we're going to be using this. But yes, the bullying, but it's not just being notified about it. It's really how do schools develop not just informational, but create the kinds of culture where these actions are addressed. It's one thing to be notified. As a parent, I would go in and say, what is being done? Whether it's my kid doing it or if my child is the victim of it.
Being addressed, I would think, would be notifying the parents because,
that's the beginning.
Listen, when I was in school, you're much younger than me, bullying was a whole different dynamic. It might stop at the school door, the school gate, the school streets. When you got home, you were okay. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's on the websites, it's on social media. They can destroy a person's life, a young child's life. And it's happening because I got a boy named Jacobe Taras, as I know I told you about the Taras family. They had no idea their son's head was being rammed into lockers. He was being hit and beaten and bullied every single day in school. Jacob took his own life. And his parents found out later on he was being bullied. That school was not mandated to tell them what was going on day in and day out. Now, some schools do. Yeah, they do a good job. Notify the parents who want to bring you in, notify the parents of the child doing the bullying. But why isn't that holistic? That if you're going to tell a bureaucrat at the state education department, you're not telling a parent, when we're telling the parents, be involved in your child's school system. Come in and speak to the teachers. But don't require them to know that, I mean, anybody in this room, I would ask you to raise your hand if you would not know that your child is being bullied in school. When we passed this in the New York State Senate, which I passed almost unanimously, I asked that same question. Nobody raised their hand. Everybody would want to know and take part in the decision making. I don't understand why that can't exist right now. I understand you want to make a better setting. You want to stop the bullying that takes place. But to make that happen, I think parents in the school system have an obligation to be part of the team that does that.